Have you ever wondered why some clients are always late for appointments, or frequently cancel or reschedule appointments, or just don't stick to their treatment plan, or don't seem to make any progress no matter what you try? Well, that difficult behaviour often hides a very real reason: chronic stress, and that is usually underpinned by trauma. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to spot fight or flight in clients with food and weight challenges, recognise the hidden signs, and achieve better outcomes by understanding what's really going on. Health professionals like you and I support adults who struggle with their weight and food, people seeking help with weight loss, gut issues, type 2 diabetes, heart concerns, or even joint pain from being in a larger body. We've all had clients who say all the right things in session, but then don't follow through. Maybe they cancel last minute, always very apologetically and always with a strong reason. Or they disappear for weeks, ghosting you when you try to contact them, then return with a mix of remorse and excuses, but it means you have to start the work again from scratch. You'll hear things like, "I just couldn't do it," or "I was so overwhelmed by everything," or "I kept meaning to start but it just wasn't the right time, there was something going on at work or with my partner or with my children." So on the surface, this client is presenting as being committed but disorganised or scattered. Or you might think that they are not ready, and in some healthcare settings they can be labelled as non-compliant or non-adherent. But what's actually happening is this person is just running on cortisol. Their system is prioritising safety over change, and everything has been overruled by that mental energy. Their brain is stuck in fight or flight, and its only concern is to try and feel safe. Now, this is what we call fire energy in the four energies framework. It's mental energy that's stuck in hypervigilance, where the brain is constantly scanning for danger and constantly asking, where's the next threat? Where's the next threat? It's like their internal smoke alarm is going off constantly, making it impossible to focus on anything but feeling safe. And the reason this happens is because this client very likely experienced trauma at some point in their earlier life. The trauma may be well over, but the alarm is still ringing. And that's where the food comes in, because for these people, high fat, high sugar, high salt foods are the quickest way to feel soothed. These foods deliver a dopamine hit, offering temporary relief from the stress of all that cortisol. But what happens then is that that person is ashamed, they're embarrassed, they're angry with themselves for failing. And because they haven't told you that they struggle with emotional eating, they can't face you or the risk of you being disappointed with them. So they avoid appointments or keep them short or have a litany of excuses for why they didn't progress this week. They may also actually drop out completely. So this isn't resistance or stubbornness, it's biology. Their brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, to keep them safe, by both triggering them to eat when they feel stressed and triggering them to avoid you or deflect from their secret eating when they're in session with you. Now, as health professionals, one of our roles is to be able to recognise this pattern and help clients co-create a sense of safety with us so that they can finally move forward. So how can we work with this energy instead of against it? Well, it starts at recognising what's really going on under the surface and driving that constant cortisol. And that means getting curious instead of getting frustrated. Now, if you're a medical professional, you might see this fire energy showing up as poor adherence to a treatment plan, a lack of engagement, or minimal progress despite your best efforts. Maybe you're even seeing symptoms that don't match what you're actually doing, like stress-related weight gain, even when somebody is restricting their food intake. And that can be really confusing, can't it? But one powerful step here, and I know not everybody has access to this, but testing cortisol levels with a simple saliva test can confirm what the client's system is actually doing. If you're not in a medical setting, don't worry. You don't always need a lab test to spot this pattern. All you need is curiosity. And whether you're medical or non-medical, I always recommend asking this question. Instead of trying to find out why they aren't following the plan, which, let's be honest, we've all asked at times, try asking something like, do you ever eat for emotional reasons? And if they say yes, then you can go a little bit deeper and ask, would you ever describe or think of it as binge eating? Now, these may seem like really simple, direct questions, but they open the door to a much deeper conversation. And many of your clients have been shamed by other professionals, by their families, and indeed by themselves and their own negative inner voice. So just having curiosity and a non-judgmental approach can actually be healing in and of itself, creating a safe space for the person to simply talk about the thing they've probably never talked about to anybody before. You might also ask things like, can you remember when this pattern started? What was happening in your life then? Or what happens inside when you try and change your eating? What thoughts come up? What feelings do you feel? Because often there is a story there. There's a reason why their brain learned to use food as a safety mechanism. So awareness and understanding is step one, but let's be honest, you probably don't have the time or the scope of practice to dive into trauma work. So what can you actually do to help your client's system start to feel safe again? So the first step is helping clients put out that imaginary fire in their nervous system. And one of my go-to recommendations is Epsom salts baths or foot baths 3 times a week. People love this once they try it because it does really work. If they can soak for 15 to 20 minutes, they often find they sleep much better afterwards. And Epsom salts are easy to find at the pharmacy, or, here's a secret, they're often cheaper as animal salts at a pet store or a vet's. But you didn't hear that from me. So why does this work? Well, Epsom salts are full of magnesium, which helps the body relax and counteract the effect of cortisol. But there's another reason why I suggest Epsom salts over maybe a magnesium supplement. First of all, a lot of health professionals aren't able to recommend supplements as part of their scope of practice, but you can recommend Epsom salts. And second, a lot of our clients are very poor at self-care. So taking the time to have an Epsom salts bath or foot bath and sit and mindfully do something for themselves is a practice that we want to encourage them to do more of. And it takes time and a little bit of investment in energy to do that instead of just popping a supplement pill. You could also suggest regular periods for guided relaxation or breath work. But there's a caveat here. For someone stuck in fight or flight, relaxation can actually feel unsafe at first. That's one of the reasons why they're bad at self-care. Some clients would actually rather stick pins in their eyes than meditate. So always check what your client can tolerate. But alternatives to meditation might be sleepy bedtime stories, guided visualizations, or progressive muscle relaxation, where they can listen and follow along. And that can feel safer than asking them to empty their mind in meditation. For many, a blank mind is the last thing they want because they don't want those bad memories coming back. And of course, everybody's different. So we can check in with each individual person. What calms you down? And can you do it more often? This isn't just stress management, it's safety training, and it is the beginning of putting that self-care practice in place. You're helping their brain learn that the danger has passed and it can finally stand down. Now here's something that's really important. Many of us drawn to health and helping roles are ourselves fueled by fire energy. There's a reason they call it burnout. If you keep adding fuel to the fire, eventually the whole system overheats. So how can you check in with yourself and support your own nervous system so that you can better support your clients? So take a moment and ask yourself, am I addicted to stress? Do I constantly leave things to the last minute? Am I always firefighting? Is there always a little bit of drama in my life? And if you're nodding along, you're not alone. I've been there myself. Many of us are up all night prepping presentations, missing deadlines, or finding ourselves maybe even in conflict with colleagues or family. And that's not because we're difficult people, although let's be honest, we might be making life harder for ourselves. But the deeper truth is, if you've been running on cortisol for years, your body can actually get used to it, almost addicted to it. The adrenal glands need that cortisol rush to get you moving. And if we suddenly drained all that stress away and fully relaxed, it might actually feel scary, like we've lost our armor or protection. And our clients feel the same way. So sometimes people are unconsciously creating drama just to get that familiar cortisol hit. And if we're running on fire energy ourselves, how can we expect to help our clients step down from theirs? So ask yourself, how can I support myself better to keep my cortisol down? Because when we self-regulate, we get better at co-regulation with our patients and clients. Your calm presence might be the safest thing a client encounters all week. So remember, your calm isn't just for you, it's for everyone you serve, and it serves everybody in your environment, family, friends, co-workers. So the next time you see a client or patient falling off the radar, instead of rolling your eyes and writing them off as just another difficult patient, reach for your curiosity. Consider whether their fire energy is in overdrive and ask yourself, what part of them is trying to feel safe right now and how can I support them better? Because working with emotional eating is not about willpower or discipline. We've got to get that out of our heads. It is about safety. It's about connection. And sometimes the smallest actions, like a bath, a breath, or even just being heard without judgment, can begin to calm someone's system enough to open the door to real, lasting change. Remember, when your client is reaching for food under stress, they are not being irrational, they are being adaptive. Their brain is doing the best it can with what it knows. So instead of asking, why can't you just eat differently, or why didn't you manage to stay on track this week, we need to ask, what part of you is trying to feel safe right now, and how else can we support it? Because healing emotional eating is never about control or finding the right diet. It is about creating safety, and it starts with you noticing, naming, and meeting your clients where they really are. If you'd like more tools and videos like this, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I've uploaded a new video. Please also feel free to download the free ebook that goes with the 4 Energies card deck. It's completely complimentary and you'll find the link in the description below. And watch the next video in the series where we dive deeper into fire energy and the mental habits that are keeping your clients and patients stuck. And for now, I'll see you on the next video. Take care.